Hey there, listeners. Welcome to Heinz on Air, your weekly dose of inspiration, motivation, and real-life entrepreneurial stories. I'm Matt Heinz, your host, and I'm excited to have you join me on this journey. From building a successful law firm to venturing into other industries like real estate and social media, I've experienced both the triumphs and the challenges that come with entrepreneurship. I've learned firsthand the importance of resilience, adaptability, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. On Heinz on Air, we're diving deep into the world of business, law, and personal growth. Join me as I chat with incredible guests who have faced adversity, defied expectations, and achieved extraordinary success. We'll discuss their strategies, their mindset, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned business owner, or simply someone looking for a little inspiration, Heinz on Air is for you. Remember to subscribe, like, and leave a review whenever you listen to podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people and continue sharing these incredible stories. Let's get started. This program is being sponsored by Law Offices of Matthew C. Heinz. The Law Offices of Matthew C. Heinz helped all individuals who have been involved in a car accident, who have been injured at work, or have been arrested or given tickets. We make sure your rights are protected and that you receive all the benefits allowed under the law. Visit us at www.hineslaw.org, heinzlaw.org. Hey everybody, Matt Heinz here. I got a special presentation for you. Good information that anybody can use, whether at home, with your friends, and certainly at work, hiring other people. Let me ask you something. Did you ever want to be able to predict people's minds? Let me say it another way. Did you ever want to anticipate human behavior and know how somebody's going to act in the future? Of course, your answer is yes. Everybody wants to do this, whether you're meeting a new person as a potential date or spouse, or whether you're hiring somebody to work in your company, or whether you're just going to hang out with somebody and you didn't know whether you can trust them. This is important stuff. The wrong person can bring you down and create havoc on your life. The right person can help you rise to greater and greater levels. So it's important to know who you're dealing with. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a special tool. It is called the tone scale. And it is a tool used to predict human behavior and know who you're dealing with. All right, so pay attention. You're going to learn some good stuff today. All right, so what I'm talking about, the tone scale. Tone. Now, tone is just another word for like the emotional level of somebody. What is their emotional level? Are they happy, sad? Are they in grief? Are they crying? Are they angry? All right, that's their tone. And what we have is something called the tone scale. Now, this was discovered by L. Ron Hubbard. The final version of it was back in 1971. But he had researched it a lot. And what had happened is, as people would get better with therapy, they would always go through the same tone levels or the same emotions. And he would view this. He'd say, okay, somebody that is in grief suddenly gets angry. And that's actually a good thing because they're getting better. And when they're angry, they might get bored later on. And then they get happy. But everybody would go through different levels as they improved. And L. Ron Hubbard would note these things down. And as he finally filled it up, we have what's called the tone scale. And it's a very long list of emotional tones. I've got a few of them here that we're going to go over. But it's enough for you to get an idea of what this thing is, the tone scale. And it's enough information for you to use. So we're going to go through a few of the levels. All right. At the top of the tone scale, we have tone 40. That's called serenity of beingness. That's actually the highest on the tone scale. That's a lot of information about serenity of beingness in tone 40. But what I'll say is this. When someone is tone 40, you are making a decision without any doubt. There's no doubt in your decision. I can take this pen and I can make a decision. I'm going to put this pen on the desk. Now, that's a very easy decision. But when I made that decision, there was no doubt in my mind that I could do that. It was an easy, doubtless decision. Great. Okay, fine. That's a simple one. But let's say I want to buy that $5 million house. Now, that is going to pull in a lot of doubt and worry and self-invalidation. Like, I can't afford that. What if I go bankrupt? Oh my God, how am I going to make it? Like, all kinds of doubts going to come into your mind. Now, you could make that decision tone 40 and say, I'm going to buy that house. And there's no doubt. I'm going to start that company. There's no doubt in your mind. It can happen, even on more difficult decisions. I dropped the pen without any worry. I can make a decision on a larger level and still have no worry. I know it's going to happen. Elon Musk is great at this. He starts $100 billion companies, and when you hear him interviewed, he had no doubt it was going to happen. He knew he was going to follow through and make it happen. Okay, tone 40, that's at the top. Then you move down into tone 22, which is called games, and tone 20, which is action. Now, here, you are just ready. You are ready for action. You are ready for the next challenge. All right, life is fun. It's a game. You're playing something and you're going to win. All right, that's a high tone level. That is where most people want to be on this planet. You want to be in games and action around tone 20. Okay, there's no fear, there's nothing. You're just hungry for more action. Okay, then it goes down. Now, again, I'm skipping a lot of these, but we get to another one called enthusiasm, which is 4. All right, so you're happy. You're good. Life's good. You're happy. That's a high tone. That's a good thing. Then it moves down to strong interest. All right. Little less than happy, but it's interesting. You like what you're doing. Then it gets down to conservatism 3.0. Conservatism you see a lot of. Somebody who's in conservatism does not want to make a decision. They're like, I don't know, let me think about it. I don't want to make any mistakes, so I'm going to sit on this decision for a while, and I'll get back to you later. But not too very. They're very still. they're not in action really. Not a great level. It's better than some of these, but you want somebody higher. 2.5 is boredom, and that's just like it sounds. They're bored. They have nothing to do. Okay, then we get below this band, which we'll talk about later. 2.0 is antagonism. That's a little bit angry. 1.5 is anger. Now you're really angry. 1.1, one of the most dangerous levels on the tone scale, is called covert hostility. This is the person that's smiling in your face, but they're going to stab you in the back. They're your friend, but secretly they are looking to take advantage of you or take you down somehow. All right? They're not high enough on the tone scale to be angry in your face, but they're behind your back, they're angry with you. And that is what brings down businesses, brings down families, brings down governments, brings down everything. That's the communists saying, we're going to save this nation, meanwhile making everybody poor. All right, there's a lot of that going on this planet. 1.0 is the next one, fear. That's just how it sounds, fear. Victim. That's another dangerous level. We'll talk about it in a minute. 0.1 is victim. And then 0.0 is actually body death. All right, that's what we consider death. The body's dead. All right, so we got from the top down to the body. Now let's talk about this tone scale for a minute. You want to be able to do this quickly and naturally. All right, spot tones. What's their tone? What's her tone? What's his? In an interview, what's his tone level? Sometimes it takes a while to spot the accurate tone because tones change throughout the day and based on what's happening with somebody. But everybody has a steady, what's called chronic tone level, long-term tone. If I read a joke and it's funny, I'll go up. But it doesn't mean I'm stably and consistently high on the tone scale. I just went up for a minute. Then I'll get back to what my stable one is. Now, remember this. Whenever you are at 2 or below, 2 is antagonism. Any decision that's made in that tone level or below is towards death. It is a bad decision and it will take you out. Never decide something when you're angry or down here. All right, that's the husband and wife yelling at each other, and one says, fine, I want a divorce. And he storms out. He or she storms out. A decision was made while in anger, probably didn't have to happen. So you never make a decision. If you're angry, go take a walk, go shopping, go eat chocolate, do whatever. Bring yourself up tone, then decide. If you're above that, yeah, that's fine. Make a decision. All right? So just remember that. Anything done below 2 and below is toward death. It's a bad decision. Up is good. You want, when you date, when you hire people, when you surround yourself with people that you trust, you want somebody around 4 and up. All right? 4 and up. If you have these kind of people around you, you will win in life. Things will be good. Your family will be good. Your company will do well. A group that is up here in action at games can take the worst idea on this planet and they will be successful. It does not matter. They are that good. They're that anxious to get involved in things. I'll tell you what you've probably witnessed at work. This person here and down here and whatever, they're unhappy. They're low-toned. They will call a client 10 times, and the client will never pick up the phone. It will just go to voicemail over and over. This person up here, uptone, will call a client, and that client will answer on the first try. And you say, Matt, that has nothing to do with tone level. That just, in one example, the client was available. In the other example, the client wasn't available. Not true. That is not true. What you will find, people who are in higher tones, is that the environment around them is good. It changes. These things can change your surroundings so that things just go right. And that sounds all weird, spiritual and mystical. It's not. It's how it is. Gravity sounds weird too. Scientists can't explain gravity. It just is. It just happens. There's no scientific explanation as to why a large body of mass attracts things to its center. But it just does. That's how the tone scale works. It is just laws that apply to this world. Okay, let's go over this victim. Now, when someone who's powerful and uptone interacts sometime with someone down here, like a victim, this person will use these tone levels to make this person less powerful. So let's say I'm talking to somebody. Let's say I'm going to talk to an employee, and I come up to the employee and I say, hey, listen, man, I've seen your production this week. It's been a little low for about 3 weeks now. What's happening? Okay, I'm not being angry with them. I'm just asking a question. So you could say, I'm up in here. This person wants to play the victim. Oh, I've been trying. I just can't make this happen. Like, I don't know. They didn't teach me what to do. Okay, so this guy's using victim while I'm up here. And the goal of the victim is to bring the higher tone person down to their level. So you got to watch for that. It happens all the time. All the time. Be careful. Don't drop down tone with someone else who's low toned. Keep your tone up. You got to sometimes pause for a minute and catch yourself, because you can go into sympathy real fast. Sympathy's down here, by the way, sympathy. You can drop tone, and before you know it, you're feeling bad with them or whatever. This happens all the time. This is happening all day long. You're reacting to tone levels. But you got to be careful when you're a leader. You got to keep it up tone. You got to not drop when that person, it's easy. If someone gets angry with you, it's easy to respond with anger. But it doesn't really work. It doesn't solve anything. If you stay up here, they'll eventually come up to your level, and then you can actually solve some problems. All right, so here's the tone scale. Most or some of it. Remember this, if you remember anything from all I've said. Surround yourself with people who are in action, who are ready to play a new game in life, who are always eager for more whatever, more challenge, more risk, more reward, more whatever. If you spot the tone, low tone, don't make excuses for low tone. If they're low tone, they're low tone. That's it. All right. Now, again, people can drop. So if somebody's child's sick, well, then, of course, they're going to be a little down tone, because that's a real fear. But that's different. You want to watch for that chronic, long-term thing. If somebody is coming in your office every day, they're really not that happy. They kind of come in, they're bored, or they're upset, or something's always wrong. They either need to come up tone fast, or you need to get rid of them. They will bring the group down, no doubt. So let me ask you this. Now that you've seen the tones, you ever try to communicate with somebody who's angry? Let's just play this out a little bit. So I hate Donald Trump. He's so rude. He's racist. He doesn't help the middle class. And then, all right, so that person's in anger. And I come along, or somebody else comes along and says, oh, I think he's great. He's trying to solve the Russian war, and he helped with taxes. And so this guy is uptone, enthusiasm. This guy is the other guy was 2.0 or 1.5 around in here. He's anger. These two people will not communicate. All right. They're probably going to just be angry with each other and leave. It's certainly the angry guy that's already angry. So how, when you have an angry person, you communicate with them? And the answer is you communicate at their tone level. Let's give an example. So this guy says, I hate Trump. He's racist and he's not helping the middle class out and he won't release the Epstein files. So anger, I'm in anger. Now, I want to communicate with that guy. I'm going to be like, I know all presidents are full of shit. They're all lie to us. Okay, I've responded with anger. Now that guy's listening to me because we're like brothers. We hate the presidents. So we've connected at anger. Now, after we connect, we need to kind of steadily get up. That's how you communicate with that person and then kind of bring them up. All right, so I say, I know all presidents lie. I don't trust any of them. But I'll tell you, one thing I did like is Marjorie Taylor Greene. What she said the other day was really, I did actually agree with. So I met him at his tone level, but then I started to try to bring him up a little bit, bring him up tone level. And that's how you communicate with somebody effectively. You have to match tone levels. All right. That's kind of an art form. You could, in some courses that I've done, we would drill it and work it out. It helps to grab somebody to work with and kind of work together. When we have courses with Bravos Leadership where we're going to drill tone level matching and all, by the way. But that's how you do it. All right. Some people have asked before, if you're low tone, or let's say you're just unhappy. All right. Even though we don't want to work with those people, we still want to help them. All right. Because the world would be better if everybody was happy and not angry. So what do they do if you're just chronically always unhappy? Well, one answer is Scientology. That religion actually helps bring somebody and make them better. But you might not be a Scientologist, so you might not want to deal with that. And that's okay. That's your decision. Another thing, this is in the book Dianetics. There's 3 main forms of therapy. One is Dianetic stuff, Dianetics and Scientology. The second one is education. Learning about something can empower somebody to where they just feel better about life. So education is a valid form of therapy. A third way is change your environment. Just get out of the scene that you're in. Like if you're always in your house, bad things have happened in your house, and that sort of environment is always going to remind you of what makes you unhappy and those past unhappy times. So if you got out of that and went and stayed with your parents' house for a while, or went to the beach for a little while, or just get out of that environment for a while, it will help your mind settle down. All right, so change of environment. If you need something quick, this sounds too simple to work, but it is highly effective, and it is take a walk. And when you walk, you want to look at everything. Look at all the objects around you. What that does, simply stated, you can look at it like this. Person who's upset has all their attention on themselves. It's all in their mind. They're just thinking all these problems. They're sort of in their head. The introversion is the way to say that. They're introverted. All their attention is in. They're not out. So when you go and you start walking and you spot this tree and you see this cloud and you see this fire hydrant or whatever, and your attention is going out, it pulls your attention out of yourself into the environment. And that's all you're doing. It's very effective and very simple. You can do it by yourself. I do it all the time because life's not always fun. Sometimes we need a break. So I'll go walk around the parking lot and just spot things. And then I'll come back and handle the next phone call or the next meeting or whatever. But it gets you out of anger. You do this. If you're stuck down here or something bad's going on and you get bad news, take a walk. Sounds very simple, but it's very effective. Okay, so this is called the tone scale. It was discovered by L. Ron Hubbard. It is a truth in life. It's not an opinion or a theory. This is just how things are. So I hope you found information that you can use and apply. If you have questions about anything I've said, post us a comment. We'd love for you to like and share this video. If you agree, disagree, let me hear. I'll be glad to respond and give you more information. Hope you've enjoyed. This program is being sponsored by Law Offices of Matthew C. Hines. The Law Offices of Matthew C. Hines helped all individuals who have been involved in a car accident, who have been injured at work, or have been arrested or given tickets. We make sure your rights are protected and that you receive all the benefits allowed under the law. Visit us at www.hineslaw.org, hineslaw.org. Heinz On Air is for you. Remember to subscribe, like, and leave a review whenever you listen to podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people and continue sharing these incredible stories.